Okay, no, I told you, man. I told you.
I was live already. I was just turning the camera around to look at you.
I totally called it.
To look at your beautiful brown face.
Thanks, man.
Hey, guys. Also, really quickly,
Yeah.
couple things, but one thing I did want to definitely do for Facebook Live.
Oh, yeah.
The station says, your mother doesn't work here. Clean your own crap when you leave.
However, for Courtney, that does not hold true.
Somebody's mom right there.
It's right here.
Boom.
Where's your mic? You can't drop it.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
I could drop. No, that wouldn't be good.
It wouldn't be possible, and it wouldn't be good, and then we have to leave the station.
Yeah.
So.
Dropped. Okay. Hey, congrats. This is our 10th broadcast, by the way, guys.
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean, 10th broadcast?
Since we started doing Facebook Live.
Oh, cool.
Trying to reconnect.
Right on.
Oh, no. Stop it. All right. We're good.
So, tell me a story.
I learned something about Courtney when you left.
Go on.
I was trying to figure out what we were going to title this Facebook Live video.
Okay.
And I don't remember why I said this. I mean, I know why. It's because you went to the bathroom like you always do.
Well, and my mom made some stupid comment.
If I'm one thing, I'm consistent.
You're really mean to your mom, Courtney.
I'm not being mean. It was
not mean.
My mom made some stupid comment.
It was a stupid comment.
Hang on, this thing keeps disconnecting. Anyway, so I was like, maybe we should just call it Noosh Goes Potty. And then Courtney reacted to that very hardly. Like she.
Oh, that's such an exaggeration.
She laughed?
No, I just said I hate.
Literally cringed.
I said I hate that word. Potty. Like I will, if ever I have kids, I will refuse to use that word.
Okay.
So that will not be happening in my household.
Why?
Because it's dumb. Like, why can't you just say, go to the bathroom? Or if you want to hide it a little bit more, you can say, do you have to go number 1 or number 2?
Oh,
or,
God,
well,
no.
she hates that.
That's yeah, but then you guys
have a lot of rules. You guys have
No. I just said the reason that came up, and I said, well, that's probably my fault because I refused to use that language because I felt it's condescending to
You're
kids.
Right.
And, why do you have to make up these stupid little munchkin words? I mean, there's one thing when you're an infant, but when you're old enough to communicate, then you can communicate appropriately. You don't have to, come down. When they were little and the doctor wanted to ask them something, they're so used to using those diminutive phrases that he said something to that effect to them about, oh, you got to go something, boom, boom, or something, and then they were like, what are you talking about? Are you talking about going to the bathroom? And he's like,
oh, wow. I can really imagine her saying that. Like, do you mean using the restroom? I don't
exactly.
Use the restroom, actually.
That is totally accurate. I said, you don't have to talk down to kids. You can talk to them and with them and communicate. You don't have to have a complete separate language.
I've always believed that a child should be given, like when I was like 9 years old, I was reading like Moby Dick. I was reading like How to Kill a Mockingbird. I want to make sure kids are like getting the language of like an adult. That way they'll like pick it up sooner, So talk to them like an adult. Make them read adult books.
That's what she
things
did.
Like that.
That's why she has a bunch of smart ass kids.
Good.
No, but the idea that's why one of the things I really hate is when they came out with being able to have Blu-ray players in the car and stuff. I said, because they don't get enough opportunity to watch TV. Seriously, why can't you just talk? When we would drive places, we were always just having conversations. Why wouldn't you just talk with your kids or have as opposed to finding whatever you can to make them be quiet and leave you alone? How is that going to be encouraging anything? So anyway.
Well, I don't know.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, exactly.
It encourages them not to bother you, I guess. But that's
exactly.
That's the problem.
Whatever gets them to be quiet.
When all of a sudden people have these kids that are, they have all these shows like, what was that show with the nanny? Whatever it is, Super Nanny.
Super Nanny.
I couldn't even watch that for years because it was so infuriating. So you got to get rid of those kids and start over.
Cheaper by the dozen.
It's not like all of a sudden you wake up one day.
I was thinking of the never mind, movies with kids.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like you wake up one day and they're these horrible little brats. I mean, those are the results.
That is my fear about having children. Like, what if one day I wake up and I realize I hate the person you are? That's all my fault.
It is, actually, because it's all those little seemingly nothing decisions that you make that ultimately create that. So you end up with a toddler or somebody that does that, then that is on you. You've got to be able to realize that again, I know nobody likes to quote Bill Cosby anymore, but but he did have some, some really great things to say about when you're raising kids, and you talked about the idea that you're not interested in justice, you just want quiet.
Yeah.
You know, it's like whatever it takes to make the kid quiet. And so they have all these kids. I know that the girls, they can't stand when they see little kids in a stroller and the light of the screen is reflecting up on them, because everything is like, put them in front of a movie, give them your phone to play with, here's a tablet, here's a whatever, you know, you're inundating them with all of this technology, as opposed to, how about have a conversation? How about use your imagination? How about do something that's more than just shutting them up?
And welcome to our new format.
Yep.
Parenting advice.
Yeah.
Well, you'll get me started on
21st
teenagers,
century.
right?
Yeah.
That's
my
self-fulfilling
most
prophecy.
important thing is, as long as, you know, in the age range of 2 to 5, they hug me, I'm okay. I'm all about. I love 2 to 5-year-olds because they want to play.
They
wanna
are.
hug. They're the best.
Well, 5, they start getting a little full of
Well,
themselves.
right.
but, you
I know. 5 and
but-
6, they start getting attitude. They start going.
Yeah.
I know. But
They get on their
the
sassy
2-year-olds,
pants.
they're so cute.
Oh, and I love
I
3-year-olds.
really-
Their conversations, their sentence structures, the way that
Yeah.
they talk. Yeah, that's one
know.
of my favorite ages.
Yeah. I worked at a nursery in Sri Lanka for when I was there for a while, so I experienced 2 to 5-year-olds a lot. It
You're
was
having
great.
technical issues, right?
Yeah.
This video is probably paused like 1,000 times. And everyone's just getting
But I
little-
thought your phone was so great. Isn't that what you were telling
I
us?
said it records
Wait,
good
should I
audio.
have maybe used my
Courtney.
phone? Maybe.
Courtney.
Maybe.
When you kept saying, you said,
Courtney.
"Oh, I should
I-
do the Facebook Live because
I,
my phone."
Oh
I
my
don't know.
God.
I think
Is it a new phone?
Maybe.
What?
It's a new phone.
Yeah, it's a new. Dude, listen. This is not. It's nothing to do with the phone. It's the connection in here. Okay.
But it worked
It's
not
fine
okay.
on mine
I'm
for
not on
the
Wi-Fi.
the 9 videos that we
I'm not.
did.
Okay. So
I was fine.
anyway, let's start the show
I mean-
instead of. It's enough.
Okay.
It's enough. It's enough. Leave my
Man.
phone alone.
It's, all right. Well, here we go.
Get ready.
So, welcome to another episode. I can't even do it. I
Do it.
can't even do it because I'm so disillusioned with how
This is what it's-
terrible
this
I
is
am.
what it's come
I'm
to.
gonna get better. Look, once I have
No,
more
you're
time,
not.
I'm
Listen,
out of
you're never
school.
gonna have more time.
I'm gonna have more time. I'll
No,
be
you're
out of
not.
school, and I'll be able to focus on actually creating quality titles for this show. So, welcome to another episode. Until then, welcome to another episode of The War on Comedy. I'm your host, Danushka Kumar Singh.
Was that from the website that generates names for web series?
No, that's just
Yes, it
me.
was. Stop it.
Randomly.
Don't
you-
even.
You know how the train of thought happened in my mind? You made that comment about we hold these truths to be self-evident, blah, blah. And then that made me think of, Fox News and their war on Christmas and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, there's the war on comedy because we are, ruining
Because we're
comedy.
tearing it apart?
Yeah, we're
Listen,
ruining
you know what?
comedy.
I actually don't know
Yeah.
if I'm either really impressed that you just came up with that whole bullshit story right now, or I'm really disappointed that that's actually what you did. And my name is Ryan Walters. There you go.
Listen, man, I'm the guy
Introduction.
who looks at a poster and is like, this is the Mr. Silky Slim show.
You know what? Have you ever had a good name for this show, like a good
Yes,
fake name?
I have.
It wasn't Silky Slim because you got that off the
No,
poster.
no, I think the best name is gonna be one of the best. The one that I can remember. I know I've had better, but one that I can remember is when I did that play on words where it was welcome to another episode of Like and Subscribe, and then eventually
yeah.
it became
Hey, man.
welcome to another episode of Mike and LeBride.
That was not good.
In his mind, it was, which is what all really
Listen,
counts.
man, coming up with a name for this show is literally scraping the bottom of every barrel there ever was. There's never a good name. Nothing exists. You know what this is? This show is the Waluigi of shows. You know why? There's this actual analysis, psychological analysis I read about Waluigi. If you don't know who Waluigi is, do you know?
No idea.
Okay. Okay. Waluigi. Okay. There's Mario, right? As in Nintendo's
Yeah.
Mario.
Game,
Mario. And then Mario has a brother named Luigi.
Luigi.
Yeah.
And then the evil version of Mario
Aren't
is
they like their cousins?
well, we don't know what their relationships are. They're brothers, but I don't know what the other guys.
Wario and Waluigi, I think they're
They're okay. Well,
cousins or something.
Wario is like the evil version of
The
Mario.
fatter,
He looks like
evil
Mario,
version
but he
of
looks
Mario.
evil,
And
right?
fat.
And then there's Waluigi, who is like an evil version of Luigi. But here's the thing: this guy was breaking down the like psychological analysis of what these characters represent, right? There's Mario. He's like the main guy, right? The ideal. Then you have Luigi, who's kind of like the not so great version of Mario. Like he's supposed to be the exact same thing, but he's the not so great version of Mario. He's different, right? But then you have the inflection of what everything Mario, represents, right? Wario. He's like the mirror opposite of Mario.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Waluigi is a weird existence because of the fact that Waluigi is the only way to understand what Waluigi is to understand what Wario and Luigi are, because that's what Waluigi is. He's a combination of that. He is the opposite and then a reflection. Does that make sense? Like he represents nothing. Like his only existence is based on the existence of other people. He has no real substance to himself.
Okay.
I did a terrible job explaining that.
No, you didn't, but you really brought the show down.
Yeah. Basically, we're the Waluigi of...
We're nothing.
We represent
garbage.
Nothing.
We're garbage.
And?
I'm Courtney.
And our guest for today's episode is Mama Rajan, as I call her, but... Catherine. Yes. Do you mind I call you Mama Rajan? I just think it's so catchy.
She kind of does.
Okay, I will never...
Dude, look at that face.
I know.
That
I
is
will
a
never
face that is
call you Mama Rajan.
Very not okay with that. Is that the mom face you were referring to?
That's part of the mom face, yes.
Apparently there are several.
There are several
versions.
Okay, so what's the?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Whoa.
What?
Oh, after that.
Yeah,
Right.
after that.
Let's not forget.
Let's not forget. I will not forget this time.
Okay, so I just came up with this. Like I said, I don't know if it really works, but that's all that popped into my head. So if we were the Golden Girls.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I would put Noosh as Rose.
Rose is
which is
the older
Betty
one?
White's
Oh,
character.
Betty White. Okay. Yeah.
So you're Rose.
Yeah.
I could see that.
You would be
You
Blanche.
being me,
You
Ryan.
Blanche. Oh
Ryan
my
would
gosh,
be
he's
Blanche.
Blanche. Yeah. Like she's
I don't
the
know-
only
I don't
name.
know.
The
I
Southern
don't-
lady.
Blanche
and
is the one who
she'd
sleeps
be
around
like,
a lot.
she would always have like boyfriends
Dude,
and stuff like
God
that.
damn, Noosh. You seriously paint me as such a one-dimensional person.
Well, because I don't know.
do is have sex.
I don't know
So-
why.
And the only reason why I chose Golden Girls because I had to
Also,
choose
you know what?
something for you as well.
Whoa.
So
Careful with that.
no, but I mean, because at first we
The only reason I chose Golden Girls
No.
is because of you, Mom.
Okay, let me finish my sentence.
You're the goldenest of girls.
Because what originally popped in my head of like, oh, what maybe could work would be Everybody Loves Raymond, but you were definitely not that mom because you were not crazy or in everybody's business and all of that. So I couldn't go with Everybody Loves
So
Raymond.
instead you decided I'm going to be insane.
Who's insane in Golden Girls?
The mother I figure you're talking about.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I didn't know she was insane.
Why she gotta be the mother? She can be any character. It's based on.
I
the
thought you were
personality
going to
thing.
I thought you were going to say
Dorothy?
yes.
Yeah. Well, okay, the few episodes that I have seen of Golden Girls, yeah, the mother is sassy and everything, but that is you. And then also, like she's the matriarch and you're the matriarch and I don't know, never mind. And that would make me Dorothy.
You're so mean to your mom.
I'm not being mean. I didn't know what else to think of.
Listen, I'm
You were
also
doing
kind of
fine till
terrible.
you got there.
Shut up.
I'm
Oh
also
my
kind of
God.
terrible. I'm the
You are
person
kinda
who
terrible.
gives my mother bad translations, and I often tell her things just to like see her reaction. So
Yeah.
I'm terrible in my own way.
Yeah, I
Yes,
feel
we all
bad for your
we
mom,
all have
actually.
things that we do.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm such a good son.
Oh, Mr. Perfect
At
over
least
here.
I have been since my mom moved away.
Yeah, I was gonna say like. But the one nice thing though about the fact that your mom and JB's mom are far away is I get to have these like Facebook relationships with them where I get to see like, oh my gosh, your son, he got into trouble again. Like I get to have like this mom.
I don't get into trouble.
Well, not you, I guess. Maybe JB. I mean, I always have that, like, oh, JB with his mom. That is that
Yeah.
whole thing.
That's true.
I'm kind of working on that with your mom a little bit, like a little bit. I'm trying. I'm trying to get in.
You know
on
what?
that
Actually,
level.
the funny thing is about my mom is I don't think there's anything that you could tell her that I did that she would accept as truth over her own, like,
Picture of
Projection
you.
image of
of
me.
you?
Yeah.
Really, even though she listens to this show.
Even though she would, yeah. Well, she doesn't really listen to this show. Hi, Mom, if you do. But, she listened when my brother was on, and then I think that was it.
Dude,
She watches our videos.
I'm not gonna lie. When your brother was on, that was like the highest number of like listeners we had. Like he got the Utah crowd involved.
We had a whole other state of people listening.
I know.
Briefly, we burned some.
I'm nostalgic for Justin's return. But Catherine, tell us about yourself. What is? Tell us.
Sorry, because she always hates this stuff. She doesn't like being in the spotlight or anything like that. So that's why I'm cracking up, because she's making that face. And yeah.
Another mom face.
So tell us about yourself.
Oh,
Mom.
really? And where shall I begin? No, actually, I had the question about. I noticed sitting here that you had. Why was there? You were the only person
you're
with
about
a little.
to get roasted.
Oh my gosh!
I own it. I own it. I mean, I don't
a bottle
own
of
that.
Purell, because I noticed you didn't use it before you went out of the room. Mm-hmm. When you came back, you'd already been touching everything,
right?
And then you came back, and then you put that on again. So it's like.
There's no actual rhyme or reason to my usage of Purell. This is the station's Purell, and I'm misophobic, so I.
You're what?
Like germs.
Oh, germophobic.
Germophobic. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's called misophobia.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
misophobic. So
it doesn't make a lot of sense though.
Why?
The way that you deal with it, or the thing, like your own weird logic,
right?
Or
No,
like
it's true.
Your Nooshisms behind.
Yeah.
There's misophobia makes zero sense.
It does. He's been to my house. He knows. I mean, I treat my room like it's a clean room, where basically like I can't wear slippers or shoes or anything inside my room. I have to be barefoot, but I will wear slippers everywhere else, because my assumption is that the rest of the house cannot be nearly as clean as my own room. Even though I clean the house. I'm always vacuuming. I'm using the deep cleaner. I'm dusting. I'm wiping. I do everything. But I still feel like it's not as clean as my own room. So he
has a pair of slippers for the kitchen area and the garage.
I was gonna say, do you hand out like booties to put over people's shoes as they walk through?
No, and that's the thing.
I do request people to remove their shoes when they enter the house. Yeah.
But what I'm saying, as far as your weird illogical thing, is that I take my shoes off when I go in your house.
Yeah.
Then I walk around inside your house, living room, kitchen, wherever.
Yeah.
And then I go to your room.
Yeah.
And I'm already breaching your clean room. Like I don't have slippers. I don't take my socks off when I go in there.
Now you put that into his head.
No. That's the thing. That's the thing. He knows this. Like he understands all these things.
I have a solution to that
about himself.
I have a solution.
You're no longer allowed in his room.
You mop after he leaves.
No matter what, Ryan is always welcome in my house, in my room. And by the way, this doesn't sound weird. I was gonna say in my bed, but not when I'm in it. Not when I'm in the bed too. But he's welcome to my bed.
And sitting on your toilet, I'm allowed to do that
yes,
as well.
of course,
yeah.
of course.
Even after the incident.
Everything that I own, Ryan has the right to use as well. What did you just say?
Like, what incident?
Incident.
In the Philippines when I destroyed your toilet before I left. Yeah.
But I mean, he didn't tell me, so he's a good friend.
Yeah. I couldn't do that to you. You had nowhere else to go.
I had nowhere else to go in the whole country.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. Right? I hope this isn't a problem.
This is about to ruin our relationship.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you're gonna think I'm either crazy. Like, here's the thing: if I leave it as is, then you'll just think Noosh is crazy. He lets me walk in his room and he doesn't realize I'm breaching the safe zone. But the reality is, whenever I have guests in my room and then they leave, I vacuum and I deep clean my room.
That's what I just
Of
said.
course, I have to. I thoroughly do, and that's a necessity.
Your germs aren's good enough for his room.
No,
Wow.
his germs are better than my germs. Don't ever say that about Ryan. But here's the thing is, Catherine, if I walk
Appeal
outside,
to the mother.
when I walk outside, well, she asked the question.
Well, not really. I just talked about that. But anyway, go ahead.
When I walk outside,
This turned into like psychology of Noosh.
I have to take a shower. I can't. I mean, once I walk outside and have the outside air touching me, I can't go back in my room. I have to shower and then go back in my room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also that towel thing. I think the towel thing, when you used to swim and you stopped swimming because you couldn't put your towel where you wanted to put your towel in your house. That to me was, and you even told me when you were telling me the story before you gave me a warning. Like, listen, I know this makes no sense.
Yeah.
This makes no sense. But this is how I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, Noosh is, he's misophobic, but he also has this he's got a weird.
I have rules.
Poor logic.
Well, I mean, one of the things about me is I create rules, like dick pic etiquette. Like, I create rules.
Yeah, and then those
things.
rules supersede. Like
Yeah.
they matter more than the truth.
I mean,
they matter more
yes.
than the laws of nature.
I was actually telling a friend of mine that, like, one of the things about me as a person is whenever I find out, like, rules, like rules of school or rules of, outside rules, external
Yeah.
rules, my first compunction is to break them. Like, I always feel this desire to break any rule I come across, except my own. But my own compulsion is
my own
I gotta
rules.
make. I feel this need to give my life structure by creating rules for myself, but I want to break everybody else's rules.
So I'm gonna tell this towel thing. 'Cause-
Yeah.
So I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show before. I don't think I have. But for a while, Noosh was swimming as a
gotta get back into that
for exercise.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want to go to the gym, and he wanted to do something more than running.
Right.
So he's like, I'm gonna swim, and he did for a little while.
I mean, I should tell you the truth. The whole reason that I wanted to swim is because in the main song for the movie Hamlet 2, with Steve Coogan.
Yeah.
There's that part where he says he's got a swimmer's bod like nobody dude. And I thought to myself, I'd like to get a swimmer's bod like nobody dude. So go on.
Just made it so much better.
So anyway, he's swimming, and he has this like really specific thing where like the towel that he used for swimming is he would like hang it in his sister's room to dry. That's where he would keep his towel. And
Where was the pool?
it was like where was it? Like at a gym or like a public thing?
It was the Torrance City Hall. Like it's a city pool. Yeah.
Which he's okay. I mean, there's chlorine, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's a very well maintained. Like it's a very clean pool. Good facility. You can shower there. It's good.
Cool. All right. So did you shower there?
I did.
Okay. So you would swim, take a shower, and this was with 2 separate towels, right? Or was it just the one?
I would take one towel.
Right. One towel for the pool, one towel for
No, I would
shower.
take one towel to the pool. Just one towel. I would go swim, dry myself off, and then shower with like the water to get like the chlorine off.
Right.
And then I'm sorry, I wouldn't dry myself off. I get out of the pool and then I shower.
Okay.
Then I dry myself off.
Then you dry yourself off. Okay.
And then I drive home.
And then
Dude, I can't even finish this.
And then
then I take another shower because I mean, come on, I'm outside. When I go in my house, I gotta take a shower, and then I use my house.
So he has
towel.
another towel for the shower at his
Right,
house.
but the problem is,
But he can't have the 2 towels together. So he can't hang his pool towel in his room where he keeps his shower
it's
towel.
my safe zone.
And he definitely cannot hang any towel in the bathroom because people shit in there or whatever. So he was hanging his pool towel in his sister's room.
Yeah.
Then he had, what was it, like a cousin or something?
Yeah. I mean, I had a guest stay at our house, and then my cousin. Yeah,
Okay, so
2 different
a
people.
guest and then a cousin were staying there, and they
Yeah.
were staying in his sister's room. And all of a sudden, he's like, I can't swim anymore. And I'm like, why? Well, because I have nowhere to hang my towel. So I was like, okay.
By the way,
Noosh.
before I said that, I said, "Listen, this doesn't sound crazy," and then I said that.
Yeah. So then he explained the whole situation,
Yeah.
and I was like, all right, so you can't hang the towel in your room, you can't hang the towel in the bathroom. You have like this railing here, you have all these other places. And he's like, no, I can't because I've already made the rule that it goes in my sister's room,
Yeah.
and it can't go there now because there's another person in there. And I was like, well, why can't it just still go in there?
Yeah.
It can't. Because it's going to have other people's...
Oh, I mean, I can't walk into somebody's room and be like, "Oh, I'm putting my towel up here." Like, listen, that's explain to them, and
But
I
you
can't.
are already doing that because it's your sister's room. The room doesn't belong to you.
Oh, my sister doesn't live at
she
the
doesn't
house
live there.
anymore. She's gone. I mean, it's
Oh,
my
okay.
sister's room, quote unquote. But
Okay.
I mean, she's gone. So
It's an empty room.
it's
yeah.
an empty
Okay.
room. It's a storage room.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a towel room.
It's a towel room.
So that's
Yeah.
that's Noosh.
I mean, I have all kinds of weird things about me like that. I mean, like, for example, like, listen, I'm gonna say something really crazy. This doesn't sound crazy, but you know what?
Crazier
Though?
than the towel thing.
Yeah, but it's okay. You know why? We just have to embrace the aspects of ourselves that are difficult to embrace, overcome them, become better people, grow.
Yeah, but you're never going to do any of that. You're going to embrace it and just that's the way it is because that's a rule in your life now.
Okay, for example, if, let's say, no, I'm not.
Nope, you got to do it now.
Well, okay. I have like a hamper for my like dirty clothes, right?
All right.
So let's say I'm like walking by. This actually kind of happened like today, but
That's why it popped into his head.
I was walking by the hamper, and my pant, my short actually,
That you were wearing?
that I was wearing,
Okay.
grazed the hamper.
Jesus effing H Christ.
And I promise you I didn't take a shower. I didn't take a shower.
Yeah, but you're saying that clothes, that your shorts were now
absolutely. I can't.
Tainted.
It was disgusting.
They immediately had to be
I
removed and put in
removed
the
it
pants.
immediately. And then I put on new shorts. Because,
Man.
I mean,
Oh,
But
where
yet the
have-
dirty clothes are on the inside of the basket.
Right, oh, it's one of those mesh, like,
It's
ones.
still on the inside.
It's like a
Okay.
webby, it's like the webby
Yeah,
mesh
yeah.
It
stuff.
doesn't matter to him.
I mean, there's those openings. There's openings where some portion of my pant could have touched some portion of whatever was in there. And
But where do you keep your hamper?
in my sister's room.
Jesus.
Yeah. Actually, by the way, the towel that used to keep in my own room, I've actually booted it out into the door in front of my room. That way it can be out, because I just thought to myself, I'm drying myself off with my towel, and I mean, who knows where it's been? I mean, it's on me.
Well, you know where it's been.
Yeah, it's been on you immediately after you get out of a shower
I
washing
want you,
yourself.
by the way, listen, I want you to know something about myself, okay? One other thing. I know how crazy I am because when this happened, when that short grazed that hamper, I stopped and I said, no, not again. This is where I actually told myself, this is where I draw the line.
And then you
did it.
proceeded to change your
I'm
pants.
not, yes, I told myself I'm not doing this. I told myself, okay, calm down, Noosh. Just walk back in there, sit on the couch. The couch is like the ultimate safe zone. That is like the ultimate, this is where I sit when I am
Clean.
clean. I told myself I'm going to go back and sit on that couch because, it was like a pep talk, because I am going to be okay and normal. And then I was like, but I can't. And then the shorts came right off.
Oh my God.
Man, so having kids is going to be a major challenge for you.
Yeah, it is.
That's going to be fun.
With all the things going on at the same
You know
time.
what? You know what though? I feel like you'll rationalize it somehow.
Yeah.
To yourself, you'll be like, well, it's clean shit because it's only been inside of this person who's also my person. That's myself.
In a way, that's my own shit.
It is. It's my own shit. I'm just cleaning my own
Listen,
my own
I'll-
self, which
listen,
I do all the time.
The worst and maybe the best thing that can ever happen, though,
You have
is
a
that
clean ass baby.
I'm going to be the person who gives my child the same psychological illness I clearly have, and then they'll be as clean as me, and then we can be crazy people together.
Yeah, you just got to find a partner who's
Listen,
Who's okay with
I
all
think
that?
the way this is going to go down is it's going to be, listen, I need one room of the house to myself. Don't ask why. And nobody goes in there ever. I don't know if that's
Probably.
possible.
That's probably what you have to
So, today's episode...
is not surprisingly not about
No.
Noosh's psychological problems.
but there, we can do an episode about that. But, by the way, we told
do.
ourselves...
That could probably be a two-parter.
we told ourselves that we're going to start this show earlier so we can, get to the point. Because people listen to this show for about 15 minutes, let's say. And when we don't get to the point, they're just like, what is this? And then they leave, I imagine. I don't know. But...
Or
So
they
now
hear,
it's just us.
Or they
Yeah.
hear us in general and they're like, ugh,
Yeah, I mean,
no
hey,
thanks.
by the way, though, even though we had a huge dip in the previous episode a few weeks ago, it was 92 listeners. or
Listen,
whatever.
man, we shouldn't be talking about this on
Oh.
here. I don't want people to know how unpopular we are.
Good point. Okay, so today's episode topic
popular
is
now.
actually we're huge.
We have our own
Huge.
award show.
The topic for today's awards. That's
Ha. Yeah,
nice segue, Ryan.
thanks.
Bring
That was-
up the awards show that we have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That
So okay,
was so well done.
so let's begin. So the topic today is awards, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to describe something to you guys, okay? And you tell me if it sounds familiar. Okay, so during an election year, the Republican candidates for president are especially heated, right? The
Yeah.
race for the Republican nomination it's heated. One candidate is a long shot and miraculously wins the nomination at the Republican National Convention. He runs his election campaign on a platform of America First, anti-immigration, and anti-Semitism. He wins the election over a war hawk and controversial Democratic candidate due to strong Midwest and Southern support. Follow so far?
Yeah.
As a result of his election, white supremacy is on the rise in America, and murders of immigrants and Jewish people increases. Then rumors and a scandal erupts that there were relationships between the president and a foreign power during the election campaign. The president in this story that I'm telling you is compromised and controlled by a foreign leader. That's the rumor. So, this sounds familiar, I'm sure, to some capacity.
I've never heard anything like this at all in my life.
This story is actually, it's a novel called The Plot Against America, and it was written in 2004 by Philip Roth. So Philip Roth, by the way, the person running, the Republican who ran this campaign, the story, is Charles Lindbergh. And he won the 1940 election against FDR. On this whole campaign of we're not going to war, like, no, FDR's a war hawk, we're not going to war. And the rumors in the story were that Lindbergh had a relationship with Hitler. That was the thing. So I'm talking about the Nobel Prize for Literature. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the thing about the Nobel Committee and the U.S. as a whole, right? So the committee likes to focus a lot on Eurocentric literature, and it views American literature as too narrow and short-sighted. Like, there's like commissioners in the committee who've said, like, oh yeah, American literature is too, short-sighted and not global in scope.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's been many, laureates from America for literature, but that's their opinion, though, the committee. And they don't really focus as much on literature outside of Europe or America. And out of 113 laureates, 101 have come from Western countries. So literally 12 are from like Asia, Africa, and South America. On the other hand, Americans like to win. Every time the Nobel Prize is about to be announced, there's a lot of like American push, like, oh, we got to get the American to win this one, that sort of thing. And there's always indignation afterwards, because it's always, in a lot of these situations, especially for literature, it's always going to be this author that no Americans heard of because it's never been translated to English, never been brought here, that sort of thing. Often the winners, it's not translated to English. So Philip Roth. Philip Roth is the writer of that book, The Plot Against America. Has anybody read his work? I haven't either, but he's like a prolific writer. He's been he's been writing for like 50 years, and he's like, one of those who they're always saying, ought to win the Nobel Prize this year, that sort of thing. I mean, actually, not only do they say he should win the Nobel Prize every year, he says he should win the Nobel Prize every year. He's expected the Nobel Prize for the over 50 years.
He's the Leonardo DiCaprio of the literary Nobel Prize.
World.
Right. He wrote a book, in fact. I mean, oftentimes he writes characters that are similar to his own worldview, and he's written a book about a writer protagonist who won the Nobel Prize. He feels compelled.
If you write it, it will be true.
He feels compelled all the time to write and congratulate the winners every year for the prize in literature, and he also kind of says something to slightly guilt shame them. Like, he says things like spare a moment to think of this other, like himself, like spare a moment to think of the writers who didn't win this year, that sort of thing.
Jesus.
So here's the thing, that the story goes that every year he goes to his literary agent's office in New York, and he waits for the phone call, right? Because 30 minutes before the announcement, they always call the winners for science, for peace, for literature. He goes to his literary agent's office and just waits for the phone call. And every year, it doesn't come, and he drives back to Connecticut disappointed. And people say every year the Nobel Prize Committee purposely avoids giving him the award just to troll him, just because they know he's at that office waiting for the prize. So last year, when it was announced, 2016. It's not announced for this year yet. For 2016, the two most talked about people who were set to win the Nobel Prize for Literature were Philip Roth and Haruki Murakami, Haruki Murakami is my favorite writer of all time.
That name sounds familiar. Is it the tattoo girl with the tattoo dragon? No.
No. He wrote the Wind Up Bird Chronicles and a few other. He's a Japanese writer, but his work has been translated the world over. He's a surrealist. Okay. But he's my favorite author. Like, I'm like, that guy should definitely win. But Haruki Murakami is the kind of person who doesn't care. He's just like, I mean, actually, to be honest with you, he's the kind of person who would feel kind of like, I don't want this. Like, this is too much pressure. Like, this is, I never asked for this. So he doesn't really care about this whole thing. Philip Roth wants it. He wants it bad. So this last year, the last time it was announced, 2016, people say the committee gave the ultimate troll to Philip Roth sitting in that office waiting for the call, and all of Philip Roth's fans who want him to win. The committee gave the Nobel Prize for Literature to Bob Dylan.
Nice.
And what they said is they gave it to a singer, songwriter, for having created new poetic expressions within the great American song tradition. So they basically just said he's a poet who
You
just
don't know
happens to.
Oh man.
They actually described him as being like Shakespeare. Like they said Shakespeare was like this legendary, brilliant writer, but he didn't write. He did stage theater. He used the common man's, medium.
Yet he didn't show up for the award, didn't he? For quite a while.
Who?
Dylan.
Oh, I don't know about
I believe
that part.
that was the thing. I mean, you mentioned about who did the other writer who didn't really care. Said, well, and Dylan didn't show up for a while
to pick up the award. I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay. Huh. Yeah. Well,
which must have been even more of an insult to
Yeah.
Philip Roth. He said, "Whoa."
Philip Roth would have
I'll
been
go
on a
pick it up.
plane. He would have been on a plane the moment he got the call.
Yeah.
Actually, what the article said is that Philip Roth actually has a vague guideline of the press conferences he's going to have if he gets the call. Like basically, he knows exactly who he's calling. Okay, it's on.
So he's
it's on.
fully prepared.
He's fully
Wow.
prepared for the moment. Yeah. By the way, the committee actually, on the topic of the whole Shakespeare thing, the low medium, right, the common man's medium. The committee basically says that Bob Dylan embodies not just the high traditions of the likes of John Milton and William Blake, but also the low traditions of Appalachian folk songs and Delta blues in the South. Like they view that as the low
Wow.
stuff. Theater is the lowbrow stuff. They're kind of full of it.
Yeah. Well,
And themselves.
most award committees kind of are,
Yeah.
from what I've seen. So
That's it.
I know.
You know what? I actually thought you were going to say well, now because this election is mirroring his book.
Oh no! Actually, that's the reason. Oh, I should have mentioned why I mentioned that story.
Wow.
One of the reasons why everybody was saying he's got to win it this year is because the book he wrote over almost 13, 14 years ago
is
like a mirror of what's happening now. Yeah.
You know what? I almost was going to say, I wonder if Trump read that, but he didn't. There's no way. He
No.
doesn't
I don't think
read.
he knows what a book is.
Yeah, he doesn't. Anyway.
I'll mention my other story after, but that's. By the way, I want to tell you guys, I feel really uncomfortable because of the fact
Because it's not like a huge, long...
I feel it feels
45-minute
weird.
epic
I'm
story.
used to telling long. That's my thing. That's what I do. I tell long-winded stories that have a
That take up,
punchline at the end. And,
Yeah.
and I just
at
told
least
a
half the show.
7-minute nothing. I feel hollow inside right now.
No, it helps you come to get a balance so that you can.
I mean, I guess you could say
Look at
that,
that mom
it
advice.
helps me to accept disappointment and failure.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Jump into
As
one
opposed
thing.
to improvement and something
mean-
that would be more.
The problem is with the world. The world doesn't have enough long-winded.
You know what the problem is with
Story.
Noosh is it doesn't matter what anyone says or what the world needs.
I said I
Or
didn't realize
does it
that was
need-
a gaping hole in the universe. There's not having enough of those.
Or maybe what I need is a way to find these stories quicker, because it's just so hard to sift through all the other stories.
Or, well, like at the beginning of what you were talking about, get to the point quicker. There's nothing
That's-
wrong with that.
That's absolutely not what I do.
Dude.
I'm incapable.
Catherine is roasting you right now.
No.
it's not.
I
Oh,
want to
shit.
say she is. Just because it makes you uncomfortable.
Astrid, your son's being mean to me.
She's not listening. All right. Well, I'll talk about my thing then.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the very first Academy Awards.
Okay.
So the very first Academy Awards was in 1929. The ceremony lasted a whole 15 minutes.
Nice.
Which is very different from how it is now. There were only 300 voters, like 250 to 300 voters. And
How many are there now? Like a lot?
There's a lot.
A lot.
A lot now. And they had to choose either a best actor or actress. There was just one category. And they almost picked a dog. So people were mostly voting for the most influential and popular actor at the time, who was Rin Tin Tin, a dog. To be fair, he was really popular. I mean, so much so that whenever a studio was having financial issues, they just started pumping out dog movies with Rin Tin Tin. I mean, people, they loved him. I mean, it was still silent film era. The
Okay.
talkies were kind of about to start happening. And so, I mean, maybe it was just he was good for those because, he doesn't talk. So he just... And also, you go to the movies, watch a dog do some stuff. It was a different time.
Come out, love your dog more. Like, oh man, I really love my dog.
Yeah, it was a different time.
Yeah.
So, he was like gonna win, but the Academy really wanted to make this award like a serious, really like
to set
big
the precedent.
deal. Yeah, so like we can't fucking give this to a dog. There's no way. That's crazy. So they had a second round of voting with no dogs allowed, and so it was between like 4 guys. Charlie Chaplin was one of them, but they took him out for some reason. He wasn't in there. They gave him some like honorable mention kind of thing, and eventually they gave it to Emil Janning, who is a German actor that everyone, including himself, assumed he was like no longer going to have a career in Hollywood now that there was going to be
what you're
sound
saying
in
is
movies.
from the beginning, the Academy has always been picking the choices, the movies, the actors that nobody really cares about.
Come on, of course.
Yeah. From the beginning.
Things have not changed. Things have not changed at all for them. But so they picked this guy, and even he was like, well, I'm not going to be doing this anymore.
I'm going to real
Hollywood.
estate, actually.
Well, no, he wasn't. He wanted to keep acting, but because now that they were going to actually hear the actors on screen, and he had a really thick German accent, he was like, my career's over. Like, I can't make movies in America anymore because no one's going to watch my shit. So he took his award, and he went home. The very first Academy Award statue went to Germany, and like he took it there, and it stayed there. Then he, a couple of years later, went on to do, he kept acting in Germany. He had a couple films. Then from 1934 to 1945, he started making Nazi propaganda movies. And so that was his big thing, is he just became a Nazi, making Nazi movies. Then after 1945, when there was no longer a market for Nazi movies, he got banned from acting, so he can't do that anymore, and then he died in 1950 from cancer. So, I mean...
An uplifting story, thank you.
They gave the first Academy Award to a Nazi. Actually, I just realized something. They picked a German guy over a German Shepherd, German dog. Maybe Rin Tin Tin was also a Nazi. But I mean, he just, he never said anything about it.
Well, he wasn't a Nazi at the time they gave it to him, so...
I guess, but I mean, are you ever not? If you're a Nazi, aren't you like always kind of a Nazi?
So all Germans were Nazis even before the Nazi Party existed?
No, I'm not saying all Germans are Nazis. I'm saying if you subscribe to their...
You're talking about after the fact, after he went back to Germany and went to do
when he went to Germany, and he was like, hey, you know what I really should start doing is making movies for Nazis and talking about how much I hate
because
Jews.
he has sympathies for it, so therefore it must have been always kind of with him since he's...
I'm saying...
he was given an offer he couldn't refuse. You're here now, and this is what you're going to do. Because they did quite a bit of that.
But he was like
the world
big
is more
actor,
nuanced
and he had a lot of money. I mean, he could have just been like, no thanks, guys. I don't want to, make
but that's what I'm saying.
movies
So
about
because he
killing Jews
became a Nazi... I think what you're getting at is because he became a Nazi, that's showing that he's always had kind of sympathies towards that. So that's part of his
either
character.
That or either that or he's just like, okay, I don't care, I'll kill Jews, whatever, that's cool with me.
Or he's a coward and he just did it out of fear.
Same thing. Yeah. Either he was afraid, or he didn't care, or he hated Jewish people, and all of those things were pretty bad.
Or all of the above.
In that particular time frame, like none of those were good things to have going on for yourself.
The world would have been a different place if the dog got it.
Yeah, I mean, really.
I mean, maybe the Academy actually would have like saved the world that way. Maybe the guy wouldn't have made the movies.
They would have had a lot less support.
Yeah.
Maybe. Thanks, Academy Awards. You killed so many people. Yeah.
So
that was it.
I'm telling you that we are going to be done with this so fast because.
Good.
I mean, no. I mean,
We won't go over.
I mean, we won't, but we're gonna be way. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So, okay, I've got a second story. So that was a wonderful tale of the first Academy Awards. This is my story of something related to the 31st Academy Awards.
Aw.
It's related. So, I want to talk about Lana Turner. Okay. Are you guys familiar with her?
Yep. I know the name.
You're familiar?
Yep.
Do you see her movies? I haven't seen her movies.
I've seen some, yeah.
You've seen some of her movies. Mm-hmm. Okay. There might be moments where I say things where you might want to spoil something. Just don't spoil some things. If I'm being coy about certain people or certain things, go with the coyness? Because you know more than us then, because we haven't seen the movies. But yeah, all right, here we go. Here's the story. Here's
You ready?
the thing. Yeah. So, Lana Turner. By the way, if you know things I don't know about her, fill in, because I only have so
But
much
be
information.
careful.
Well, I don't know. As I said, you just said
I know, you just gave
no
her this whole
spoiler
warning.
alert.
I
about-
want you to walk on this minefield with confidence.
Wow.
Okay.
So, she's a Hollywood starlet in 1937 who was discovered sipping a Coke on the corner of Sunset and Highland. She was ditching school that day.
Nice.
She was 16, and they spotted her, and they're like, oh, man, like, actually,
You look pretty cute
No.
sipping that soda.
what they said
Why
to
don't
her
you
was
act?
really creepy. Apparently, they walked up to her and said, hey, girl, you want to be in the pictures? And she's just like, the story goes that she said, like, I have to ask my mother.
Oh, man. Hollywood, you were
Well,
real creepy.
it was a very famous soda fountain place.
Yeah, I forgot the name
Schweppes
of
or
it.
something. It's something like that. I forget the name of
Yeah.
it. It starts with an S, like an SH sound.
Yeah.
That
It is famous, yeah. It is a famous place. So, okay, so this is the girl, by the way, who popularized that whole tight sweaters, sexy look in Hollywood. Remember that whole thing where these busty women wear these really tight
Yeah.
sweaters, and it's, like, really busty in the sweaters?
No one could see what he just did. He really motioned.
Maybe
the-
you should boot back up
the-
Facebook Live.
I'm trying to give an image. So, anyway, it's tight sweaters girl.
Yeah.
She popularized that in the 40s. She had a B-17.
Is that why they approached her?
Maybe. Probably.
the
I
whole
mean,
blonde bombshell thing.
by back then, I guess it was okay to approach 16-year-olds and say things like that.
It
you
was
know?
the common phrase, yes.
Yeah.
Common pickup line.
You want to be in the picture?
That's right.
Jeez.
Okay, so she had a B-17 Flying Fortress named after her during World War II. And by the way, some people actually say that she was like sort of like the Britney Spears at that time, because she was like in this context, right? That she was like this young, sexy starlet who had the whole innocence thing kind of going for her, which is kind of what Britney Spears had when she was first coming out. She had like the
Yeah.
sexy innocence
When she
thing going
first-
on. When she first came out. I mean, when she was like 19 or 18 or whatever, yeah. She became a huge star in the film The Postman Always Rings Twice because she played her main role as a femme fatale, and she got popular for playing those roles eventually. She has a history of having torrid love affairs with men who just use her. You're nodding your head like, yeah, that's what I remember. So I want to mention this is the person that I want you to be coy about. Okay, so there's another actor named Tommy, okay? So Tommy was just a working class actor just getting by. When Tommy was born, his family had no place to let him sleep, so they laid him in a drawer. Like, that's where they had to let him, because they had no, like, cradle or anything for him, right? Tommy became a muscular lad who everybody referred to him in his neighborhood as Big Tom. Tom is in T-A-M. Like, they,
Big time.
Big Tam.
he's from Edinburgh, Scotland, so the Big Tom. So his father got sick.
That's not a Scottish accent, though.
Well, that's what they called him, Big Tom. I don't know, man.
It's like Boston.
Dude,
Yeah,
maybe
I was
that's-
thinking Boston.
Maybe that's just how I sound when I say it, okay? Maybe a Scottish person sounds different or better. I told you guys I'm not good with accents. So his father got sick, so he worked odd jobs as a machinist, a coffin polisher, a new...
Listen, hold on. Odd jobs. You don't just breeze by coffin polisher. That's a really odd job. Hey, listen, Tom, just come in here and just wipe down these coffins. Wipe down these coffins.
And also he was a nude figure for painters at one point. He
went real odd.
I
with
mean,
his
when
odd
your
jobs.
father's sick, you do what you gotta to make some money,
Clean these coffins and get naked.
I mean, he cleans the coffins first, and then he goes to the school or whatever, and then he gets naked. I mean, I'm assuming.
Or maybe he likes to multitask.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe he gets in the coffins naked and lets
Maybe.
them paint him, and yeah.
All for art.
He cleans them naked. It's like some fetish thing.
It's an art installation.
So he cares a lot about money because his family never had any. And apparently there's one story where when he became an actor, he asked about the wages he was going to be paid. And a producer says, I don't know, it doesn't really concern me. And Tom says, well, it concerns me.
Yeah, I would say that too. What do you mean it doesn't concern you, bro? I'm Big Tam. I need my money. Where's my money?
So another thing about Big Tom is that, in between all these odd jobs he's doing, his gigs as being an actor, he also would get into fights with the local gangs. And when I say gangs, I mean like the gangs from like, what's that movie?
West Side Story. I was
No,
just thinking that.
the other part of West Side Story, which is the Leonardo DiCaprio. What's that movie called?
With Leonardo DiCaprio, or you mean the
The
one
Gangs of New York.
I was going to say
Oh,
Gangs of New
I
York.
was like-
It's
Like
the-
Romeo and Juliet.
I thought you were, before you said Leonardo DiCaprio,
the
I was like,
Capulets and the
Warriors?
Montagues. No, it's that era. It's the era of the, not that era, but that type
Yeah.
of gang, right? The Gangs of New York style gangs, right? So he would get into
Daniel
these like
Day-Lewis.
fights. Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis stuff. So he'd get into these fights and scuffles because they try to rob him, and he'd like fight back. He wouldn't, money's important to him, so he wouldn't
You're
give
not
up.
taking shit.
Apparently, there's a story that at one point they tried to rob him, and he wound up, I don't know how, he probably ran at first, but he wound up on top of a building with 6 guys with knives and like clubs coming at him, and he fought them all off, and he like beat the crud out of them, and apparently from then
Did he
on,
throw some people off?
maybe, no, I don't think so, but it is the main thing I like. I like that afterwards the gangs, even though they still try to rob him every once in a while, just because they're gangs, they got the reputation, but they always said that you gotta respect Big Tom. He's a hard man. Like they knew him as a hard man. So it's 1957. Lana was in a torrid love affair with a rough businessman named John Steele. You know this story. You're nodding your head. Oh, you know this story. It's awesome. Okay. So she's in a torrid love affair with this businessman named John Steele.
By the way, John Steele is like that's a name right there.
Well, in reality, though, he was a mobster named Johnny Stompanato. He was known to his friends as Johnny Stomp.
Of course, his name's Stompanato.
He had a reputation for getting rough with starlets. Apparently, one time, Frank Sinatra once begged Johnny's mob boss, Mickey Cohen, to ask Johnny to leave Ava Gardner alone. By the way, I really love this time period only because all the mobsters have such good names. Nobody has names like that anymore. Mickey Cohen, Johnny Stompanato.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
Stompanato's a great name for a mobster.
I feel like it's like the Joe Pesci of names, It's very literal.
Yeah.
So, Johnny was
He's
extre-
basically just Clamps. From Futurama. You're gonna get stumped.
So, Johnny was extremely jealous of Lana, and Lana was eventually Tommy landed a role opposite.
Possessive of her.
Right, possessive
Okay.
of her.
I was like, what's he jealous of? Like her
yeah.
acting career? Stop getting all these roles.
Those tight sweaters are for me. Tommy eventually got a role opposite Lana Turner in a movie called Another Time in Another Place. So Johnny was extremely jealous of Lana. So when he heard tabloid rumors about the steamy affair between Lana and Tommy on the set of the movie, he flew to England to confront her. And what he did was he went onto the set of the movie and he pulls a gun on Lana and Tommy and he says, "Get your hands off her," like that. And Stompanato, though, doesn't know that Tommy spent his entire young life fighting gangs in Edinburgh. So Tommy grabs Stompanato's or Johnny's wrist, twists the gun out of his hand, and then decks him so hard he knocks Johnny out.
Nice.
Then skip ahead a few months to April 1958. Stompanato and Lana are still together because,
Of course.
bad relationships never change, and you stay with somebody even if they're possessive sometimes, so things happen. So she's still with him. Stompanato goes to the home of Lana and her 15-year-old daughter Cheryl, and he yells at Lana and threatens to cut her face so she can never be a star again. And at this point, Cheryl grabs a knife from the kitchen and she waits outside the bedroom door. And when Johnny walks out of the bedroom after beating on Lana, he accidentally walks into the knife several times. And he dies.
Whoops.
So the aftermath of this is that Cheryl goes on trial for murder. It was
an accident.
It was that's what they stuck with that. It was an accident. Tommy goes into hiding because Mickey Cohen is so upset about this whole Johnny's murder and this whole he says that Tommy has some kind of relationship to that whole thing, his whole role in that. So Tommy goes into hiding because Mickey Cohen puts a hit on his life. And and apparently Mickey Cohen's gang says, you better leave L.A. You better never come back to this place. Tommy, though, was more concerned about Walt Disney firing him from a role he just landed in this movie called Darby O'Gill and the Little People. So he's more concerned about the money that he's really trying to get. So Lana, in defense of her child, gives the performance of her life. This is the same year that they had the Academy Awards. So she didn't win, by the way, the 31st Academy Awards for Best Actress. She did not win that.
I forgot we were talking about the Academy.
Yeah, we are.
I was going to say, there's an award in here somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
there is. Yeah,
Okay.
she was up for the nomination for the Best Actress for a movie called Peyton.
Peyton Place?
Peyton Place, yes. She was up for Best Actress for Peyton Place, but she didn't get it. But some people jokingly say that she should have got it because the performance she gave in defense of her daughter, this is the quote that describes what she did. So as she answered the questions, she stared down. I want you to imagine
Talking
this.
about when she testified at the
When
trial.
she testified,
Yeah.
right. I want you to imagine this as one of those black and white movies, because that's what it kind of feels like when I read it. As she answered the questions, she stared down at her twisting hands or out of her hands at the spectators, as though mumbling the details of an incredible nightmare. The actress closed her eyes, touched at her face, and continued. He grabbed me by the arms and started shaking me and cursing me very badly and saying that, as he had told me before, no matter what I did, how I tried to get away, he would never leave me, that if he said jump, I would jump, if he said hop, I would hop, and I would have to do anything and everything he told me, or he'd cut my face or cripple me. And then she, stopped and blinked back some tears, etc. And then, she goes on. But basically, this is like her performance, right, on this trial.
Perry Mason moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
So while she doesn't...
I mean, isn't it also possible that she just really felt all those things?
Well, yeah.
Probably not.
Maybe. I don't know. So anyway, though, what happens, though, is Cheryl is not, tried for murder, or she's, acquitted. She becomes a ward of the state and goes on to become a real estate agent in Palm Springs.
I don't know why that's funny to me. That's like a very, good for you. It's a respectable...
Yeah.
Yeah, I stabbed a guy several times.
Yeah.
Now I'm a real estate agent. Do you want to buy a house in Palm Springs?
And Tommy decides to eventually, he continues his acting career. He eventually decides to take on his middle name for his acting career, which is Sean. And his role, the one he had with Disney, is what gets him the eyes of a producer who's starting a new film series. And this eventually lands him the star role in the first James Bond movie.
No fucking fuck you way.
Yeah.
Dude.
Sean Connery was fighting gangs on the rooftops of buildings.
Nice.
That's my favorite part of this.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of this.
That's crazy.
His name was Big Tom. Nice. I didn't know any of that.
I didn't know that either. That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Catherine,
I love Sean Connery. even
Did
more.
you know that John Connery was
Why
involved in
didn't
this?
say anything? Yep.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, to be honest
Good
with you,
job navigating that minefield. by the way.
Yep.
No spoiler.
Anyway, though, I mean, actually, to be honest, when I was looking for ideas for stories for this episode, I was half thinking, okay, what can I do with the words awards? What about a ward of the state? And I would look at
Jesus.
wards or psychiatric wards. I was looking at anything I could to find stories.
So do you feel better now? You got to balance the universe?
I mean, I'm glad that at least there was a sort of. I mean, this is not long enough for me, but it's
not long
good though.
enough for me.
It filled a.
It was an enjoyable story.
Yeah,
That's the listen, man. That's
yeah.
the main point of this thing.
Yeah.
Is for it
Actually, to be honest with you,
entertaining.
you know that this story, as it is in the articles I read, I mean, of course, the first thing they say is Sean Connery, but I wanted to present it in the.
Yes, Noosh, we all know you're a wonderful storyteller.
Thank
Long and winding road, yes.
Yes.
Paints a picture.
Corny.
Okay. So what I'm talking about is an award that's been given since 1993, and it's the.
By the way, really quick, when
Yes.
I was sort of considering doing a crazy award, because there's all these weird awards that people do. Everything fucking starts in 1993. I don't know why, but all these. There's like a smelly sneaker award that
that.
started in
I came
93.
across that. Yeah.
There's seriously like every weird award that ever existed that started in 93. What happened in 1993?
I
I
think
guess
that's
that's
all
like a golden year.
People
it's time to be wacky.
People just became so cynical. They're like, well, if they're gonna give an award for this, I'll give an award for this.
I guess
like
maybe
they just
that's what it is.
Probably.
They just
I thought it was funny
lost
that
all faith.
everything happened in 93 and we're gone.
Okay, so what I'm going to talk about is the Bad Sex in Fiction Award.
Okay. Oh, I've heard of this. Yeah. Okay, go on.
Okay, so it's presented to the author who produces the worst description of sex scenes in a novel.
Nice.
The trophy that is given, what it's showing is, it says this is an abstract trophy representing sex in the 1950s. So what it is a naked woman draped over an open book. I don't know exactly how that connects, but apparently.
That's how men imagine women reading
in the 1950s
erotic fiction. I mean, of course they're naked.
Well,
they're
that's the interesting thing, that this is not, because I was reading this,
but
like,
it's not
okay, of
sexy,
course
it's bad sex.
it's bad sex.
Right.
I'm like, 50 Shades of Grey must have gotten this, but no, it doesn't focus on like erotic literature. It's books that are legitimately good. They're good novels, except for these scenes of where their characters have sex, and it's just badly written. So it started in England, and is part of the Literary Review, which is a British magazine.
By the way, we couldn't call it that, so we have to call it the American Literary Review.
Yeah, exactly.
They were the first.
The point of the award, so this is directly from them. It's to draw attention to the crude, tasteless, often perfunctory use of redundant passages of several descriptions in modern novel, and to discourage it. So they're like, just stop writing this bad sex because it's just awful.
Then they shouldn't make it an award with a lady on a book. They should make it like a
man on a book.
I don't know, but it shouldn't be like, oh yeah, I got this like award for writing bad. Like it should be.
Yeah,
I mean, so
here's
ashamed
the
of
thing.
myself.
Actually, writing bad sex, even though these awards are meant to be kind of like ironic, like you got an award for doing something crappy, but at the same time, writing bad sex is almost something you'd be like, yeah, I wrote a really bad sex scene. Like it's almost kind of cool in its own way.
It's kind of cool.
I'd like to get.
You want to write a bad sex scene and get one of these?
I've told you guys
Go
that one
for
of my
it.
goals is I want to write a YA novel about mermaids. I have the whole plot in my head. Brilliant. And I actually thought about outsourcing the makeout sessions because, of course, I mean,
Outsourcing the makeout sessions?
Yeah, because I have a really good idea for a story, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, the female protagonist and, of course, my sexy lead mermaid guy.
Who may or may not be loosely based on you.
Merman.
Oh, no, God, no. Oh, my Oh, actually, I do swim though, but no, God, no. Not based on me. I don't want to be romanced by me, actually, to be honest. But I mean, he's the guy who's got like the swimming V and everying.
Okay.
He's that. Anyway, the point is
that was a huge goal of yours, by the way. When you started swimming, you're like, I want to get that.
Well,
V.
I mean, because there's this thing that Scott always said. He says the V is important because the V points in the right direction. The U just says go back up, go back up, turn around. So anyway, I mean, the point is, though, there's going to be hot, sexy makeout sessions. You got to have that. I mean, that's the ladies want that in these YA novels. You got to have the hot makeout sessions. But the problem is
You also have to have two dudes.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Oh, believe me, this might actually, here's the thing, guys.
Believe me, I do.
Let me just say this. I genuinely want to be a novelist. And so even when I'm writing ironic YA novels just to be funny and just to do that,
yeah,
I still want it to be like a genuinely good story. So this is like a really thought out idea.
Yeah.
And the point is this: the makeout sessions, I wouldn't be able to write them. I just don't have the ability to write sexy makeout sessions. So I thought about maybe outsourcing that to a woman who might be able to
Well, I'll just say that some of the stuff that I'll share, maybe it'll give you faith that you can, because they compare stuff that you wouldn't even see the connection.
Okay.
And it's just like, okay.
I feel like, is this going to be 40-Year-Old Virgin, like Bags of Sand kind of scenario? Where it's
yes
like,
and no. I mean, because it's
they
just,
don't
it's
know
just
what it
odd,
feels like, so they just
it's
make
odd
something
phrasing.
up.
I mean, it's just weird. Like, why would you
compare it to that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, so I thought, I'll start with the person who won the first award. So I'll just read the excerpt that won the award. So this is
for the first time.
For the first
in
time
93.
in 93 is from Melvin Bragg's A Time to Dance. Okay.
Good start.
So here's the excerpt. We came together. Do you remember? Always tenderly at first standing like a chivalric. What's that?
Chivalric.
But it's whatever. Introduction to what was to be a voluptuous, sensual battle. Just stood and kissed like children, simply, body to body, skin to skin. You slightly stirring against me, myself disregarding for those seconds the ram of sex aching below.
Okay, he deserved that award.
Good Lord.
And then one part which I said,
why would listen? If you're describing a sex scene, why are you saying children anywhere?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then there's another part of it. I'm going to skip I'm going to skip some of it and just go to the part that and this is what I texted you guys earlier, where I'm eating lunch and reading this not suitable for work stuff, and I just started cracking up. So he says, they start to have sex, and he's like, he starts thrusting more strongly, and finally thrust in hard, and suddenly let everything go. Slam into me, you used to say. How you just slam into me. And I was just like, what?
That's the said part. That's what you're saying
out loud. That's the said
part,
yeah.
Slam into me. Oh, how you used to slam into me.
I was just like, alrighty then.
You know what's really weird about that to me is, where did he get that idea? Like, where was he like, what would she say? Slam into me. Just like some person,
that's the thing women say.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Oh, yeah. They just go around saying that.
Belinda?
Huh?
As Belinda would?
Oh, my God. You guys have to listen to, maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to, if you guys ever hear a podcast called My Dad Wrote a Porno, freaking hilarious. So it's about this guy and his friends, and his dad actually self-published an erotic book that he wrote, and it's called Belinda Blinked. And so it's just this guy reading each episode is him reading a chapter to his friends. And his dad does not know anything about female anatomy.
You know how I know that his dad doesn't know anything about sex? Where does Blinked? What is that?
Dude, I feel really uncomfortable about it, only because I feel like it's going to be really dirty.
It is really dirty.
By the way, I want to say this. This guy is so privileged. Whoever this podcast guy is, you know why? He got to make a podcast.
Someone threw a fucking podcast idea in his lap.
Here's
his
a
dad
book.
Freaking.
It was so popular. His dad wrote a sequel.
Oh yeah, there's a sequel.
Dude, he was handed that. We had to work and sweat.
My dad gave me a small loan of $1 million.
Yeah.
My dad gave me a small loan of a Belinda Blinked shitty novel that I could read to my friends.
Yeah.
Why didn't our dads write a terrible?
I don't know if you'd want that.
Our dad just shrugged like, "Oh, are you doing a podcast?" Okay.
Well, his dad's pen name is Rocky Flintstone, and
Dad.
The one thing that stands out,
British, so that makes sense because they're British.
The one thing that stands out, one of the things that he writes in his book is he's describing Belinda, who's the main character, and he describes her breasts as pomegranates. It's just like,
oh my God.
No, he should totally win that award.
That
is so bad.
But that's an erotic literature. This doesn't go for erotic literature.
Oh,
there's so many other fruits you could have gone with.
I know.
By the way, on the topic of erotic literature, there's this thing that my friend does every year, and I guess I was a part of this whole thing. Whatever. The point is, every Christmas, also my experience, basically. That Christmas, he invited me over to a Christmas gathering. We were gonna walk around, look at the Christmas lights, go back to their house and have cocoa, that sort of thing, the Christmassy stuff. But he said that every year there's this book that we read, and we wanted you to be the one to read it out loud. And I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll read it. So I stood there. They were all seated with their cocoa, and I'm starting to read this book. And so far from the very beginning of the book, as I started to read, they said, don't look at the cover, don't look at anything, just start reading from chapter 1.
Well, you should be alarmed right there.
Yeah. So I started reading.
But he wasn't.
And it's about Santa Claus, and it's about how he's getting ready to go on his way on the sleigh ride, right? The elves are loading the toys, and the reindeer are ready, and it's basically that, right? He gives a kiss to Mrs. Santa Claus, and, and there's a point where I was reading out loud the whole time. It's normal stuff. This is page 3 or 4 I was on, of all these descriptions. And I'm at this point where, Santa Claus, does the whole on Dasher thing. And the sleigh starts to take off. And I'm just reading out loud. And he says, as the sleigh rocked, his testicles jiggled slightly. And then I stopped. Actually, the way I said it was, and his testicles jiggled slightly. And then I was like, what am I reading? And I looked at the cover at that point, and I realized it was erotic fiction about Santa Claus.
Nice.
And him sleeping with the tooth fairy, I guess. having an
I
affair.
hope were there kids there?
In the story?
No.
Oh, in the Christmas gathering? Oh, no. This is an adult Christmas gathering. Yeah, yeah.
Well, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. All right. Well, okay. So I was going to skip ahead to 1996. This is from David Huggins' The Big Kiss and Arcade Mystery. And so here...
These books.
So this is the excerpt. "Stick it in," she whispered. I moved up the bed and pushed inside her. Liz squeaked like wet rubber. Yeah. Let's see, was there anything else? Oh, yeah. This part.
The funny thing is, it's funny, but I don't actually know what rubber sounds like.
I mean, I'm assuming just like balloon sounds.
Oh, balloon sounds. There you go. Okay.
Continue skipping down a little bit. When Liz saw that I was about to shoot my blob of low-cal genetics, she turned onto her stomach, lifting her arse to get a hand to her clitoris and chase me to an orgasm. She made it just in time.
Okay.
Yeah, fun stuff. The look on your Brian's face.
That blob of genetic low-calorie
genetics
thing was why.
Yeah.
Why he won.
But yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
My thing is this: like, if you're trying to write a legitimate book. Okay, let's look at Noosh for example. You're like, I'm a novelist. I like to write. I like a good story. These people are published. I mean, they have to have that.
Some of them are New York Times bestsellers.
Dude.
They have to have that same thing where they're like, I want to write a good story.
Right.
Who the fuck is writing? How should I do? I gotta write a sex scene. Blob of low-calorie genetic.
She sprung to life like a sunflower.
Let me share this one going along with that. This is from 2009. This is Jonathan Little, The Kindly Ones. Here's the quote. I came suddenly, a jolt that emptied my head, like a spoon scraping the inside of a soft-boiled egg. Exactly.
Hold on. So he was describing
his orgasm.
Yeah.
That his brain felt like it was getting scooped out.
Like a soft-boiled egg.
Oh, his brain.
That's not even sexual. That's just fucking mess. Yeah, he said he came and
his orgasm was so intense that it emptied his mind.
Yeah.
And so he felt like he was being scraped like a egg.
Have you ever experienced that?
Not with an egg.
Came so hard it felt like my brain came out.
I think this is probably my favorite one. This is from 2005. This is Giles.
These seem to all be British.
I think they are. Well, because
it's a
British literary magazine that's giving
Not that
it.
they couldn't find.
They're so
bad
bad.
literature elsewhere.
I hope the American Literary Review also
does this.
Because I'd like to see how bad those are.
Yeah. Right. Let me see if I can get his actual name because my writing I can't read what it is. What did I say? 05. Giles Corrin. And his book is called Winkler. This is the line. As she grabbed at his dick, which was leaping around like a shower dropped in an empty bath, he shot 3 more times in thick stripes on her chest, like Zorro. How are you enjoying the show, Mom?
Oh, man.
I have so many questions about...
What?
No, I don't know. I don't even know how to...
Where do you begin, huh?
It was
like a shower.
Like a shower in a bath.
You know how like you have the shower head?
Yeah.
And if it drops, if the water is on, it kind of moves around. So apparently that's what his...
What a fucking weird analogy. That's so like...
And then he marked her like Zorro.
Probably sounded just like that.
Probably.
Good reference, guy.
Yeah.
And he won. So there you go.
Exactly.
I mean, are you
Yeah.
proud of that when you win that award, you think?
I don't know, actually. I mean, I didn't find any...
Also, don't these guys have editors? Aren't they just like, hey, man, are you sure you want to...
Well, they probably, if the book was good, they're like, oh, that people ignore that
Yeah,
one
I
little
mean,
scene.
People will ignore that little
They
scene.
probably assume like, well, he probably knows what he's doing.
He knows his market.
I mean, actually, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe some editor was like reading that part, and he's just like, "Oh man, it's been a while for me. Maybe it is. That's it. That is what it feels like. It's been a while."
Or maybe the editor's like, "Oh yeah,
that one's good.
Zorro." That's my jam right there.
If I was writing the sex scenes for my story, it would be very straightforward and simple. His hand touched her breast. She touched his head. Blah blah, etc. etc. It's just really straightforward, you know.
But you don't want to be like this person from 2014 that said,
recent.
The universe was in her, and with each movement, it unfolded to her. Somewhere in the night, a stray rocket went off.
Huh.
She had the whole universe
Yeah.
inside of her.
Also, if you're comparing the size of a rocket to the entire universe, he's not really making this guy out.
That's true.
Well, it said somewhere in the night a stray rocket went off.
Yeah, but a stray rocket going off in the universe is like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, okay, yeah, somewhere in the night, stray rocket. But he's...
did your rocket go off?
Is it in?
Is that it?
Is it in the universe?
The rocket goes off. Is that it?
So, I mean, I can continue sharing excerpts, but that's pretty much what I got.
What is
you
the
want
most recent?
The most recent one?
Yeah.
2016.
This is 2016. I'll just skip to the part where that really... So they're having sex, blah, blah, blah. She wiggled her breasts beneath my hands and intensified the pushing. I went up to my groin and came out almost entirely. My body was her gear stick.
I don't understand the physics of what was just...
I don't know. I didn't actually understand what happened right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
She wiggled... He became a
there's
car.
a sentence before that where it says
she wiggled and I felt like he transformed himself.
Let me go and I'll let me go back up and I'll read the part that comes forward.
Yeah.
So she pushed on my hips in order that thrust me in. I entered her. Not only my prick, but the whole of me entered her into her guts, into her darkness.
What?
Eyes wide open, seeing
part?
nothing. My whole body had gone inside her.
I'm surprised, by the way, that
What the fuck?
I'm surprised so far I haven't read anything from somebody talking about, like, I stormed her castle and my soldiers...
I think that's more of, like, the books that you get, like, at the airport. The
rest of
novels.
this book is also terrible.
Yeah. But they're trying to go for a literary, new phrasing for sex. So,
I see.
Yeah.
My whole body entered her into her guts.
He was a gear stick.
Literally, I guess.
Literally. So.
That's really awkward. So, guys.
So
on that note.
So that was, I mean, we completed an episode.
Completed. Huh. Because
To conclusion.
Sex stuff.
To conclusion.
A stray rocket went off somewhere in the night.
All right, so are there any, do you have anything to signal boost, Catherine? Anything you want to...
Any signal boost?
Yeah, anything you want to promote, any events coming up, shout-outs?
Not that I can think of. Anything?
I don't know why you're looking at me.
You also, by the way...
I don't know your life.
No.
I don't know your life. Also, by the way, we said, tell us about yourself, and then she just, declined. And we never learned
You're right.
anything
The
about
very
her.
first time I actually remembered to do that,
She just redirected the conversation.
I see you. Not answering the question. It's okay. It's cool.
Well, I really wasn't sure what to be prepared for. I was asking Courtney, so I'm not sure what I have of any value to contribute. And Courtney was like, you're just there for the mom face. I'm like, oh, okay. Because some of the episodes...
I mean, you're the only mom of us three that'll be on the show because my mom's never going to find out about this show. And Ryan's mom's in another state, so...
Yeah.
Oh, you could Skype her in.
Please stop. I don't want her to hear that and then get some idea. And guilt trip me into being like, how come I can never be on the show?
I'd like to have her on the show, actually.
Yeah.
I'll ask her. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. See,
All right.
you started a trend.
And you know what's... Thanks.
Which I may get blamed for later.
Thanks, Courtney.
But see, there's no reason that you can't Skype in your mother.
My mother?
Yes.
My mother will never even know this show exists.
Why?
Because my relationship with my mother is one where there's an entire side of me that doesn't exist as far as she's concerned.
She doesn't know, yeah.
And I'm
He's
happy.
a totally different person.
I am a totally different person. No, I'm the same.
No, you're not.
I just don't say a lot of things
Well,
or do a lot of things.
She may find that great.
No.
You know?
I'm a model son. And I aim to
if
stay
she came
that
on the
way.
show, she'd spend the whole time just like,
She'd be crying. She'd just, is this who you are? Is this who you are?
don't talk
my
like that.
goodness.
People can hear you.
Yeah. I mean, actually, it's not. She has seen the worst sides of me, though, right? Where I'm like swearing or emotion. You know what I mean? Like she's seen those sides.
I've
of
seen
me.
you be
So
pretty.
she's heard my foul language. I
So
suppose.
what is there about you that you,
Sex.
the real you that you
I
think
mean,
she'd be so upset
No,
about?
no. I mean, just anything related to jokes I say. Just everything about me. Just basically the whole of my
Wow.
character. Basically, the person I am at home is like a really toned down version of this.
It's like if Noosh was
Ryan's seen it.
if Noosh was 13.
Yeah.
He's just not even like 11.
Well-
Because when you're listen, no, only because when you're 13, you're already really gross and like just
Yeah.
jerking off on everything and just being like a general terrible person. I think 11,
Yeah.
you're getting a little mouthy, but you're not awful yet.
Yeah.
So you're that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 11.
He's very childlike.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. We're all happy that way. So,
All right.
Courtney, anything to signal boost?
Nope, I got nothing.
Ryan?
No. Shout out to my new girlfriend, and you're gonna have to stop making. You're gonna run out of material now for like Ryan sleeps with everybody.
I know the problem is
Because I'm
also
not anymore.
I'm really worried that like half our listener base. Here's the thing: this show
Dude.
is kind of like no. Let me finish. You don't even know what I'm gonna say.
No, I think
you don't
I
even
do.
know. No, you don't.
I think I do.
I think I'm gonna surprise you,
All
boo.
right. Boo.
So here's the thing: this show and the people on this show are a lot like Japanese pop stars, where basically we have to maintain this image of being single and young and sexy. Because the thing is, our fans like to know that we're available. I mean, they don't
One
want,
day they got a
don't-
shot.
Yeah, one day they got a shot with us. They don't want to know that this person is in a relationship with so and so. They don't want those things. They want to know that we're single. So. The thing is, half our listener base, for whatever reason, is actually all women. All of them. And so the thing is, knowing that one of us...
Did you wait? Hold on. You're like half our listener base
Yes.
is women for some weird reason.
Yeah,
Not
I don't
that-
know why.
Not that like just half the population of.
Well,
I started the
Yes.
same. So I said, well, that is
I have
half
no
the
idea
population.
why
True.
half of these people have vaginas. That makes no sense to me.
Well, in any case,
In any case,
I don't want them to suddenly be like, oh, one of them is not single anymore. Well, I'm done with this show. I don't want to lose our listeners. My entire concern about
No,
anything
because
on
then
the
they
show
would start
is...
hoping for the failure of that relationship. See, then
don't. Yeah, I mean, like women still like Clooney and people once they're Clooney was single for a long time.
Then
He
you know what
still
we
got
have to
some
do?
fans.
We have to have your...
Sean Connery was married.
We have to have your girlfriend on the show at some point.
More than
That way,
once.
they know who she is and they know who to hate. Right?
There you go.
There's a
We
way to
need
get
to
her on the
Selena
show.
Gomez it.
Yeah, we need to... Yeah.
there you go.
Well, anyway, shout out to Ashley.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to come on here so you can be hated, I guess.
Take one for the team.
Yeah. I have a shout out to events that PRSSA is doing at some point, either this month or
Dude,
the
by the
next
way,
month. Yeah.
Really quick, did you know that they're playing Crash Bandicoot out there?
Yeah, they do it all the time.
I just noticed.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And then here's the funny thing. I mean, if they're hooking up a PlayStation to the TV, if these TV monitors
Yeah.
that are in the student lounge, if they're hooking up PlayStations out there, or hooking up their computers, I guess, why don't they play anything other than Crash Bandicoot? 'Cause that's all
Yeah.
they play. That's the only thing I've ever seen them play.
Yeah.
This is over like
That's
a
weird.
year and a half now. In any case, PRSA, that PR organization club I'm a part
That
of.
you're the vice president
I'm
of.
the vice president. They're doing stuff in the next 2 months.
So come do stuff.
So the stuff they're doing on whatever dates they're doing them, you guys should come out and be a part of that. We will have a meeting next Monday where everyone is welcome, even if you're a non-member. So come out and enjoy the festivities of
Stuff.
PR-related
Of the
content.
stuff, yeah. What are the
PR-related
festivities?
That is a great question. And we are doing...
You're the worst vice president.
Yeah, PR, I wouldn't say is your strong suit, man.
I have wound up in so many... In my life, I've just found myself in places where they're like, you're the vice president now. Okay. You're a PR and advertising major.
Dude, Noosh, you know who you are? You're kind of like Trump in a way.
Yeah.
You're really good at running for things because you think it's fun, and then you get there and you're like, oh, I don't know.
I know. I really want to be a part of everything and be beholden to nothing.
Weren't you also like president or vice president of your ASB or whatever?
I was the vice. I'm always vice president. I was a vice president of the high school
thing.
ASB. I was the vice president of Guitar Society, the the rock club on campus. Yeah, I mean, I just join a lot of things to
be vice president. You want to be. You want vice president all over your resume.
You know why? Vice president gets most of the glory, but none of the responsibility, and that's my goal in life. I mean, why do you think it's called Ryan and Noosh are dead? I want to be number 2.
Also, you're not. Yeah, now you even don't have good responsibilities for this.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have responsibilities. You just don't do them very well.
Yeah.
So anyway, come out to your SSA thing.
You still didn't say what the festivities were.
I mean, I know that there's a meeting where we're going to be doing some kind of event planning workshop. There's going to be a Shakey's Pizza fundraiser and also some kind of other fundraiser at a different establishment. There will be a meeting in 3 weeks where a keynote speaker of some kind from some company will come. And we're also going to have elections in 4 weeks where people will try to take the positions that we currently have. And I will mentor someone to be the new vice president.
Wow.
And you're going to be like, listen, just show up sometimes. Maybe.
Talk about an epic fail, right?
I do my very best.
There should be an award for that.
Yeah, I mean it's participation trophies, a lot of them.
Ooh,
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for doing your very best. So, all right, guys.
No, that's for participating. That's for showing up. That's all that.
Yeah, but that's what he does. It's his very best. He shows up.
I show up.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's so sad when I do, and I'm just kind of nodding my head, agreeing. I'm a terrible person in general.
Good grief.
So, all right, guys, thank you for joining us on another episode. We will be back next week, and Ryan, what's the song?
How did we do on time, by the way?
We're perfect. We are absolutely perfect on time. What is the song?
I'm going to let you say it. Listen, you should know now that I'm never going to tell you what it is. The
song's called JPB by Up, Up, and Away.
Exactly.
Is it really right?
No, it's not right.
Oh, good.
Who calls themselves Up, Up, and Away?
A pop band that's from Sweden.
Actually, that's probably you're right.
Yeah.
No, it's the other way around.
Okay, so it is Up and Away by JPB. We'll see you next week, guys. Stay classy.
Ryan and Noosh Are Dead is made possible thanks to KDHR, the student-operated radio station of California State University, Dominguez Hills. For more information about KDHR, please visit www.kdhr.net. The intro song for this show is Space Ace by Blind. This music is made available thanks to Overclocked Remix. For more information, please visit ocremix.org.